Doctor Who Horror of the Fang Rock, the 18th story of the 4th Doctor, is written by Terrance Dicks and starring Tom Baker and Louise Jameson. Season 15 is the first in the Graham Williams era, so Philip Hinchcliffe, who worked as a producer in Tom Baker's first 3 seasons, is one of the most popular era. The tones he went for the series are darker and a bit more adult than previously, with a gothic atmosphere taking inspiration from Hammer Film Productions' horror films. Despite being popular, BBC received few complaints from Mary Whitehouse of the National Viewers and Listeners Association, assuming that it's too frightening for children and could traumatise them, and pretty much Mary believes Doctor Who is a little kids programme, the sort of programme you see in CBeebies, and it's not. Even Hinchcliffe believes it's not for little children, but in reality the children have passionate of scary stuff and needed to be aware of the evil out there in the world for protection. Listen to this.
Final shots of the programme with the image that was left in the mind of the child for a whole week.
I'm the sort of person that likes to be frightened. I like to watch things like that, but after it's finished I won't go out the room on my own.
Because the baddies have got to be got rid of anyway.
I think all human beings like to be scared, which is why people go to late-night horror films in the cinema. But you've got a basis of security, which is a framework which prevents any real harm being done, I think. We watch as a family. I think they know that these creatures are make-believe.
Season 15 had a difficult broadcasting time when Philip Hinchcliffe left the show to do adult police thriller series Target in 1977. There was a loss of number of long-time contributors to the show, so Graham Williams took over and got told to lighten the tone and less violence due to Mary Whitehouse's complaints. And as a result, his run was kinda divisive. So Graham Williams said that he had to try and find some new ones, and that wasn't the least of the problems. Robert Holmes was stuck on Weng Chiang for ages. All the scripts were coming in late. Robert Holmes stayed as a scriptwriter for the first 3 stories of his season, while his successor, Anthony Reed, trailed him in preparation for taking over his role. Reed, an experienced director and producer, had only agreed to the position of script editor because he was intrigued by the chance to work on Doctor Who. The working titles were The Monster of Fang Rock, The Beast of Fang Rock, so then Horror of Fang Rock was a late replacement for the scripts. Terrance Dicks had originally submitted a vampire-based tale called The Vampire Mutations, which was cancelled close to production because there was concerns about detract from the BBC's Count Dracula, a high-profile adaptation of Bram Stoker's classic novel Dracula, which was due for release close to when the story would have been broadcast. However, the story was eventually reused with some rewrites in Season 18 serial State of Decay in 1980, so Horror Fang Rock was the only one of the original series to have been produced at BBC studios outside of London. Engineering work at those studios meant that it was made at the Pebble Mill studios of BBC Birmingham instead. There was a cool opening where there's a light hitting the dark sea in front of the lighthouse. Ruben, Vince and Ben were surprised to see it. Although Ben was sceptical about it, Ruben was at first. While Vince is left on watch, Ben went to the generator and killed by something. The Doctor and Leela arrived while the foghorn was constantly making noises. The Doctor and Leela met Vince, all confused why no one saw Ben. As it turns out, he's dead. Ruben was informed and suspected that they're spies. It was pretty intense when Leela went outside, to have a look. Also when Vince told Ruben that he saw something, the red light was flared up as there was a boat coming, so the 4 survivors got inside. Harry Plamondale was desperate to go to London, and because Ben has died, everyone has to stay in their lighthouse until the fog was over. The Doctor and Leela had a look outside. They came into the conclusion that it's from outer space. They didn't want to tell anyone about that. Ruben said Beast of Fang Rock is back, but the Doctor believes otherwise. Meanwhile, as Leela was feeling cold, Ruben sorts the boil out. Really suspenseful because there's something lurking about. And what a cliffhanger when you hear the screaming. Tom Baker is fantastic as the 4th Doctor. Whenever he's being serious, being shouty, and also jokes about, Tom really pulls it off. I also love the way he says this.
I've got news for you. This lighthouse is under attack and by morning we might all be dead. Anyone interested?
Can't go wrong with the fourth Doctor. I really like Louise Jameson as Leela. She's definitely a brilliant companion. Colin Douglas plays Reuben Warmby, the lighthouse keeper. He's so good, especially when he plays a Walking Dead. He was so terrifying. Colin also voiced the Rutan Scouts, the Green Blob, who had a really long war with the Suntarans. I thought they're cool and pretty scary. Love to see more of it. Colin Douglas previously played Donald Bruce in The Enemy of the World. John Abbott and Ralph Watson plays Vince Hawkins and Ben Travers. The Keepers of the Lighthouse, they're brilliant as well. Ralph Watson previously played Captain Knight in The Web of Fear and Etis in The Monster of Peladon. Alan Rowe plays James Skinsdale, the MP for Thurley, the last victim of the Rutan attack in Fang Rock's lighthouse. He gives off great performance. Alan Rowe previously played Dr. Evans and voiced Space Control in the Moonbase. He also played Edward of Wessex in The Time Warrior, and then later played Gareth in The Full Circle. Sean Caffrey plays Lord Henry Palmerdale, Financier. He does a great job. Enid Woodland played Adelaide Lessage, Lord Palmerdale's secretary. She's very critical about stuff. She really speaks her mind. Also really scared and didn't want to be in the lighthouse. There was issues with the character's surname spelling. In the novel, it's spelled with one S. However, the subtitles on the BBC DVD release, it's spelled with two S's. To avoid the problem, Enid Woodland was credited as Adelaide, without the character's surname added. Rio Fanning plays Harker, the bosun on Lord Palmerdale's Luxury. Steam Yacht, he's great too. The atmosphere and the effects is so good. So good! Paddy Russell's direction and Dudley Simpson's music score is phenomenal. So the Doctor and Leela went to see why Reuben was screaming, but he was alive. But he behaves oddly. He seemed emotionless and pale. So everyone got the lighthouse locked up. So Reuben locked himself inside a room and he's pretty much, well, ghosting. The Doctor tells Skinsale and Adelaide that the creature that they are dealing with is an alien, but they disbelieve that. Palmerdale really wants to get to London, whatever it costs, as it seems. He gets to the top and gets killed. The Doctor believed he fell. The fact that Leela slapped Adelaide...
What's happened?
He says he thinks Lord Palmerdale's fallen from the lamp gallery.
It shows that she had enough. After Harker's body was discovered downstairs, Adelaide and Skinsale went back up. There's an uh-oh moment where the Doctor found Reuben's corpse in the boiler room. The Doctor realised he locked the creature inside with them. So Reuben's ghost went to the top and killed Vince. So Leela returned to Skinsale and Adelaide, but then Reuben came in. He killed Adelaide, so Leela and Skinsale managed to get out. They went to the lamp room where the Doctor is. As Reuben's ghost turns into the green blob on the stairs, the Doctor has a conversation with it.
Well, when you've seen one Rutan, you've seen them all.
We are a Rutan scout. We are specially trained in the new metamorphosis techniques.
And recognises Rutan when the Doctor suggests that Rutans must be losing their never-ending war with the Suntarans. The Rutan Scout declares that Rutan Host is instead making a series of strategic withdrawals, and although the Earth is remote, it has a sound enough strategic position to launch a counter-attack. It got the Doctor's attention as the Suntarans will use photonic bombardments to dislodge the Rutan presence, thereby killing many people. He learns that the Rutan scout ship crash-landed in the sea, and it confirms that it's trying to summon the mothership. The Doctor said that he has deactivated both the primary transmitter and the backup. The Rutan scout says it was transmitting long enough, and the Doctor says it won't last long. Before running back upstairs to the lamp room, the Doctor needed diamonds. Skinsale recalls Palmerdale kept diamonds in his pocket, but his corpse was in the crew room where Adelaide was killed. After Skinsale found the bag of diamonds on Palmerdale's belt, him and the Doctor shake hands. The Doctor dropped a lot of diamonds on the floor while Skinsale was picking up the diamonds. Rutan grabbed him with the tentacle and electrocuted him to death. The final victim. The Doctor told Leela that he died with honour. After the Doctor converts the lighthouse into a high-energy laser using the diamond, they watch the mothership approach. They have 117 seconds to get out, so they both got out of the lighthouse, took cover, and the laser blows up the Rutan mothership. Leela looked without listening to the Doctor's orders, so she got blinded. She demands the Doctor to kill her with a knife, but then the Doctor laughed, and Leela can see again, but her eye colour changed.
Her eyes have changed colour.
Apparently Louise Jameson stopped wearing her brown contact lenses at the end because she found the lenses painful to wear and made their removal a condition for her agreeing to play Leela for another season, so it was written in the story. There was many elements based on a poem, Flannan Isle by Wilfred Wilson Gibson, which the Doctor quotes from at the end of the story. The poem itself was inspired by the mysterious disappearance of 3 lighthouse keepers from the Flannan Isles in 1900. Though we hunted high and low, and the hunted everywhere of the 3 men's fate, we found no trace of any kind in any place, but a door ajar, and an untouched meal, and an oval-toppled chair. I think Horror of the Fang Rock is a fantastic story. It's so suspenseful, there's nice horror elements in there. Definitely scary. Brilliant start to the Graham Williams era. What did you think of Horror of Fang Rock? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.